Racism and the Beatles. The Beatles did a defiant act in 1964 that ultimately made a significant advancement in the fight against racial segregation. The band refused to play a show that had divided the audience by race without their consent while thousands of people waited in anticipation. The renowned Liverpool quartet declined to take the stage at a concert featuring a segregated audience at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, as a sign of support for the U.S. civil rights movement. Officials at the concert eventually permitted the segregated audience to reunite, as the pressure of the Beatles' act of defiance threatened to boil over. John Lennon declared as soon as he took the stage, "We never play to segregated audiences and we aren't going to start now." He continued, "I'd rather lose our appearance money." The incident's specifics were subsequently documented in the thorough Ron Howard film The Beatles, 8 Days a Week. Their first divisive political position didn't deal with Vietnam, it dealt with segregation in the South, director Howard said. When they learned that one of their performances in Jacksonville, Florida, was intended to be segregated, they refused to play it that way. In fact, it was stated in their contract that they would not perform for racially segregated crowds. They thought it was a ridiculous idea, he continued. However, he continued, it was obvious to them, and that's the position they took, and lo and behold, they desegregated that concert. The Beatles often had an impact on how the world saw things, and the world frequently had an impact on what the Beatles were going through. "We never performed for segregated audiences, and we aren't going to start now," John Lennon declared as he took the stage. Paul McCartney later remembered the incident and said, "When we were making the movie, all these little facts had come out, and Ron was sorting through them with his team. We were due to play Jacksonville in the States and we found out that it was going to be a segregated audience, blacks one side, whites the other, and it just seemed so mad, we couldn't understand that. So we just said, we are not playing that." A year after the incident in Florida, with the Beatles still passionately but informally refusing to perform for segregated shows, the band successfully managed to incorporate their beliefs into a legally binding contract. The band obtained a legal contract that was signed by their manager at the time, Brian Epstein, that stated they would not be required to perform in front of a segregated audience. The agreement was made before the Beatles gave a massive performance at Cow Palace in California, and given their struggles with racism, Paul McCartney was later inspired to write the song Blackbird by the unrelenting fight for racial equality in the US. "The concert we did do was the first non-segregated audience," Macca later reflected on that one momentous night in Florida. In a concert setting, there was a girl named Kitty who vividly recalls having her first encounter with white people. The Beatles were heavily influenced by black music. A lot of their musical heroes were black. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.